Hi, I'm JF Mauldin, and this is my 5-minute rant of the Wheel of Time book, The Shadow Rising. So, got a lot of things to say about The Shadow Rising. It's part of the epic, fantasy series by Robert Jordan. Fantastic book, great series. My only complaint with it is, it's a little bit long. It reins in at about 393,000 words, and that ends up making a couple sections of the book kind of drag by, where you kind of feel like potentially Jordan was trying to, drag out certain themes. Maybe he wasn't, because he was trying to fit a lot into the story. Unlike the other Wheel of Time books up to this point, with the Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, and Dragon Reborn, those stories kind of had different plot points going in different directions, and then eventually they all converged in on one collective point. Not so with this one. You have all your different stories going on in different places where they had come together, and at the end of the Dragon Reborn, and then this one, it splits off into three. You've got the girls going after the Black Aja, you've got Rand going off into the desert with the Aiel, and you got Perrin going back to Emond's Field. So, how'd that really play out? Well, as a whole, I think it played out well. At first, I wasn't quite so bought into it. I got a little bit confused, felt it was a little bit jarring. They went away from the girls in Tanchicho that are going after the Black Aja for a really long time, and eventually it comes back to them. But I think it worked great overall. Each one of the storylines had its own cool wrap up at the end. Rand got to do some kick-ass fighting using the One Power, and Nynaeve ends up having this big battle with one of the Forsaken, and they end up dropping a collar at the bottom of the ocean. And then Perrin ends up having this, huge fight in Emond's Field where the entire story begins, fighting against the Trollocs. And he basically tells the White Cloaks to F off, and he gets married, and she comes back and saves their lives by rallying the men from Watch Hill. So, all in all, cool wrap up as far as all that is concerned. The one issue I had, though, and this is a reoccurring issue with the Wheel of Time books, is that honestly, even though I do love strong female characters and stories, because of the Aes Sedai and what they are and everything, pretty much every woman in the Wheel of Time kind of comes off being a little bit of a bitch. It just kind of comes off that way. Not just being strong-willed, but just kind of like a bitch. You've got that whole reoccurring thing where men don't know what women are after, and women just think men are stubborn and bullheaded and stupid. So after a while that does get a little bit redundant, although the relationship between Fale and Perrin, as that develops with them getting married and everything, with their kind of I hate you, I love you, I hate you, I love you thing, but I always loved you, that comes off well and actually feels pretty authentic and realistic. So I really did enjoy that. The book opened a lot more questions. I liked how it ended with Rand basically enslaving one of the Forsaken to teach him how to use the One Power, since there are no longer any male Aes Sedai. I thought that was a great plot twist. I also enjoyed the questions asking, is Tom Merrilin Elaine's father? It's really kind of a question I keep asking myself, and I'm pretty sure is going to get wrapped up in some of the future books. Not 100% sure though. So, all in all, I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to be reading the next one, although in the time being I have another book to read. I'm reading Mark Hodder's The Mountains of the Moon, Expedition to the Mountains of the Moon, which is part of the Burton and Swinburne series, based on a couple of historical characters, an explorer, a geologist, and a writer, and a poet that was a bit of a sadist. So it's a really fun story, romp through 19th century London and all kinds of places abroad with steampunk technology and stuff. It's weird, to me, reminds me of a bit of Sherlock Holmes mixed with The Mummy, mixed with I'm not really sure what, because sometimes it actually does get a little bit freaky and terrifying in ways, but it always comes back to being something just great fun adventure. So great book to check out, and that right there is the time. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm going to leave you with a video of my cats. What are you guys doing in there?